Ginger Nick. I spends me leisure getting on the ship. They're too obscure. Just hitting them and doing it with guilt. Pinched. Ginger's cuisine. I get to stretch for scarcing jobs. The world has got me snored just a bit. Cruel fortune's dirty left me smote me soul. And all the joys of life I held so straight is up the pole. 6 months later, just mooching round like some poor army coot of open joy and fortune destitute. I'm crook, me name is Mud. I've done me dash, me flamin' spirit's got the flamin' up. The little birds is chirping in the trees. the parks and gardenings is a Bosco sight, where smiling tarts walks up and down all dressed in clobbered white. I tells myself, someday I'll take a pull and look around for some good steady job and cut the bush for good and all. I'm full of that crook mob. I gets a job at Organ. I seen her in the market first of all, inspecting brooms at Steely Isaac's school. Her name's Doreen. I backs me Barry in the same old way and says, "What ho, it's been a bonza day." The sort of look she give me, just because I tried to chat her up like you'd make a start with any tart. My ideal tart, I'd be as true to her I would, as straight and steady as, oh, what's the good? Refreshed with sleep, day to the morning mill, comes jauntily to out the nigger night, trained to the minute, confident in skill, he swaggers in the east, chock full of spite. And all the world bows to the Bosco day. Once more I tried to chat her in the street, but blimey, she did turn me down a treat. The way she tossed her head and swished her skirt, oh, it was dirt. I found her lurk was pasting labels in a pickle joint. I meets a bloke I know whose toils in that same pickle foundery. I gives me pal and offers for to say he has a sister in the trade who's been out of a job and wants to meet Doreen. Then we can get an intro if we've luck. He says, "Right, Buck." If this here dilly love feeling doesn't stop, I'll lose me block and stoush some flaming cop. It's just like this. The tarts that are to get makes you all odd to chase them, and to let the cove called Cupid get an hammerlock and lose your block. Of course, he worked the oracle, you bet. gone by, another night, creeping along to douse day's golden light. The intro. Me pal, he trots her up and does the toff. He always was a bloke for showing off. This is Doreen, he says. This is the kid. I dips me lid. I says, good day, and blimey, I had nothing more to say. I don't know how I done it in the end. I recollect I asked to be her friend. I don't know how I had the nerve to speak and made that meet with her for Sunday week. A squarer Tom I swear I never seen in all me natural than this here Doreen. The way she talks, her lips, her eyes, her hair, oh, give me air. Now, as the poet says, the days drag by on leading feet. I wish they'd do a guy. Struth, how I hug that promise she give me for the beach, the bonds of peach. Sunday night, the meet. And square and all, no matter how you start, the common end of most of us is tart. Night. The wet sands glistened and the gleaming moon shone yellow on the sea, all streaking down. The band was playing some soft, dreamy tune. Own her little hand, and how she blushed, oh strike it was divine, the way she raised her shining eyes to mine. And there I told her how I'd done me dash. I wished you meant it, Bill. A bloke could be a dog to kid a skirt like her, and me well knowing she was square, it'd be dirt. And when I kissed her, I sort of felt that Roscoe feeling that comes over a bloke and makes him melt. Her I'll chuck the pubs and schools and all that leery game. There are higher things, she says, for blokes to do, and I am half believing that it's true. We parts at the gate. Thought it could have been my luck to strike the likes of her, Doreen. And then I got a job. Doreen and me, we went to see a show, the swell $2 touch, Bong Tong, you know. The drums writ be Shakespeare. Lady beyond the moon, swear he, says he, and then he climbs up on the balcony, and there they smooch a treat. I nudge Doreen, she whispers, ain't it grand? Her eyes is shining, and squeeze her hand. Fair Juliet, she gives her boy the tip, says she, don't sling that crowd of mine, no lip, and if you run agin a Capulet, just do a git. She seems and swears he done with lashing, he'll chuck it down, some as I've done, a first met Doreen. Next day, he words a gospel cove about a secret wedding, and they plan it. Then they get itched. Instead of slop and soup, as he was wed off on his honeymoon, him and his cobber called Mick Curio, they are to go and mix it with that push of Capulets. They look for trouble, and it's what they gets. Mick Curio, he gets it in the neck. Ah, rats, he says, and passes in his check. Quite natural, Romeo gets wet now, and it's me or you, he yowls, and with a yell plumps Tywolf through the gizzard with his sword. Put in the boot. Ush, says Doreen. Shame, says some silly coot. Then Romeo does a bunk. Then things get mixed a treat and starts to whirl. Here's Romeo come back and finds his girl tucked in her little coffin, cold and stiff. soul, throws a fancy fit, head over turkey, and his soul is flit. Then Juliet wakes up and sees him there, turns on the waterworks and tears her hair. Dear love, she says, I cannot live alone, and with a moan she grabs his pocket knife and ends her cares. Peanuts or lollies, says the boy upstairs. Took a dairy at this store at Coop, first time I see him dodging round Doreen. You're jealous, Bill, she says. Ah, spare me days, a plain bloke can't get used to women's ways. Me jealous of a knock-kneed coot like that? But she fair doped me with her winning ways. A week later, the store at Coop hangs round her place. Spare me days. When I sights her with him in the street, you could have knocked me down with half a brick. But to his lips. And when he won't put up his hands to fight, he says for public brawl he didn't care. And now Doreen, she says, I've broke me vow, and Mags about this cute poor wounded pride. And then, of course, he has a ding-dong row with hot and stormy words on either side. She says I done it out of jealousy. Me jealous? Jealous of that cross-eyed cow? A coot like that, but it don't matter much. You're welcome to him if you fancy him. And so we parts forever, her and me. To call her back, I'll never lift a hand. She'll never hear from me by word or sign. Oh, I ain't much to look at, I admit, but him, the knock-kneed, swivel-eyed misfit. And then I gets on the ship. The tragedy. The next morning, perhaps some days you'll come to understand the mess she's made of this here life of mine. Ginger Mick, he hawks the buddies when he toils, does Mick. Blimey, Bill, you do look crook. Turn up, Ginger, don't get slinging off. Come up to Skinny's place tonight, says he. There are skirts and singing, meet you after tea. complete on this Doreen, and now me heart is broke, me life's a wreck. That night, to the Beano I lobs along to drown the memories of fancied wrong. I swear I never knew she'd be there, but when I meet her eyes, oh, 'struth, 'twas strong. And then she sung a song that cursed an aching heart. The tune was one of them sad, mournful things that kitch you in the beller's ear and brings tears to your eyes. The words was of a tart who's tracking with a silly coot, who slings her love aside and breaks her tender heart. Listens with me heart up in me throat. I drunk in every word and every note. And then, God's truth, the bleeding look she give me, fair in me face that melts. With sudden shame, me guilty soul smote. When at last the tarts they made arise, a lop-eared coot with hair down to his eyes, he looks to Doreen to see her home. Hands off, I'm seeing this here kind of home, and there we left him gaping with surprise. She never spoke, she never said no word, but walked beside me like she never heard. I swallowed hard and starts to coax and plead. I says I'm dead ashamed of what occurred. I tells her never, no other tart, be off what she is if we have to part. I tells her that me life will be a wreck. It ain't no go, so I walks away. She sobs, you nearly broke me heart. too. No, I ain't no angel kid, she says. I'm just a woman and I love you true, and so I'll love you all my mortal days. Bill, you'll have to meet me, Ma. Will you come for tea Sunday night? I study books with yearning to improve. Sunday night. Clobber, me torso clad in foot to toe, got up regardless for this interview. Stiff shirt, a Yankee suit split up the back, a tie with yellow spots and stripes of blue. Two dilly sort of dogs made out of delf stares hard at me from off the mantelshelf. I seems to sympathise with them, their pups. I felt so stiff and brittle like myself. Me patent leathers nearly brought me tears, me stand-up collar soaring off me ears. Family album. Store. He'd no faults except him falling heavy off a load of chaff, which killed him. Oh, the struth! But could she owl? Her poor dear pa, I suppose he had his day, and kissed and smooched and loved her in his way. She says a child of mine should be reduced to working in a factory. And as I listen to the tale of poor old Pa, a sudden notion slaps me with a jar. What if Doreen, I thinks, could give to be a fat old weeping willow like her ma? Then we has tea. Life's hard, she says, and then she brightens up. Still we have always had our bite and sup. Have a cup of tea, Willie. Willie? Oh, well, here was a flaming pill. A moniker that always makes me ill. If it's It's the same to you, Mum, I replies. I answer better to the name of Bill. Up goes her hands and eyes, that vulgar name. No, Willie, but it isn't all the same. All right, I says, I suppose it's in the game. After tea, and then I tells her how I love Doreen. Me future son, she says, right on from this, must not take anything I say amiss. I know me duty, be me son-in-law, so will he come here and give your ma a kiss. I done it, though I don't know how I did. Then things got out and home like then, we talks till late, and teases tries to tease Doreen to make a date. Goodbye, Willie. Strike me purple. Willie, that's what hurts. Here me knew, took no need of life, invested in ma-in-law and wife. Doreen and me is getting itched, all straight and on the square. But 's truth, the women, how they love to frill. For Auntie Liz and Ma, of course, was there, and Ma's two uncles' wives and Cousin Lil, and half a dozen more to grin and stare. With silver hair and gentle ways, dressed in his little shirt with frills and bands. Wilt thou yet take this woman for you to be your wedded wife? Ah, take a pull. What in hell does you think I'm here for? And Ginger Mick, how does he, best man, and ups and beefs it out. I well he howls and fetches me a kick. Your turn to chin, he tips me with a shout. Righto, I says, I will. But my Doreen, she never turned an hair, nor misses once when it's her turn to speak. And when at last he shuts his little book, I heaves a sigh that nearly must be this. But heavens, now here's mother looking crook, and sobbers awful to me manly chest. I wish you'd give them waterworks a rest.